Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to React to Indie Serial Experiments, Lane 10 Night. We're on episode 5, I think? Wait. Yeah, okay, so we watched 4, we're on 5. That's right. Okay, so, I'm gonna try, let's try to, like, really get into it for a minute here, if I'm being honest, right? So 4 had a lot of things happen, but honestly, there's, like, a lot of, like, conceptual things going on that I feel like require some prying into. So, like, okay, so first, let's talk about 4 a bit, because 4 was the last one up. So, a couple things happen. I have it up because, honestly, there's so much happens that you kind of gotta, refresh the noggin a bit. I'll even full screen so you can see it too. Other Lain, who, as opposed to normal Lain, right, the alter ego of Lain, which I'm calling Other Lain is fully up in it, right? Like, normal Lain, we haven't seen since episode, I think, 2, because I think the end of episode, or was it the start of this episode? I'll even check. You know what? I'm even gonna check. Was it 3 or 2? I think it was the end of 3 that, yeah, end of 3, end of episode 3, Other Lain, like, took full control, it seemed, right? Because start of episode 4, we only had Other Lain. So this entire episode, only Other Lain. And we know that, like, Other Lain took control at the end of episode 3. It took control is such a weird way to put it, too, because I don't even know what the process is. We'll try to get into that in a minute. Other Lain took control, or whatever, of the body at the end of episode 3, and that was kind of made aware by the fact that she was, like, wearing very little clothes and was working on the computer very in-depth. Though it wasn't even at the end, because I think she was reading books about the computer stuff to try to, like, up her knowledge at the school even beforehand. Though that could have been normal Lain, and honestly probably was normal Lain. I'd have to rewatch this scene, honestly, and I don't know if I'm trying to do that right now. Because during most of episode 3, it was just our normal Lain who was trying to figure out what was happening, right? She, like, asked her dad about the psych processor, pulled up to Siberia, I think, was that episode 3? Yeah, pulled up to Siberia and talked with the boys, who explained some of how the Navi worked, which I think is, like, the computer, right? That's the name of the computer. And then, when she got home, after it being explained to her, she's wearing very little clothing and, like, working on the computer all crazy-like. And based on that, that's when I think the switch occurs. Because she just started acting weird. So what causes this is a huge question. I kind of like the idea I had at I think episode 1 or 2 or something. I don't know when I said it. Who freaking knows? Where it was like, like, normal Lain has these episodes where, like, she doesn't remember what happened or whatever. Kind of like amnesic episodes. And during that process, Other Lain is there, right? So it's kind of a dissociative identity disorder thing. And I think that's kind of, like, what's happening because in episode 2, at the start of it with the dude that's tripping, homie sees Lain. And that's Lain's body he's seeing, but that's just Other Lain, right? The alter ego that's in control of it. Because she's, like, screaming at people, like, saying, like, get out of here, or I don't remember exactly what was going on. But, like, he sees her, and that's kind of what provokes him to have the reaction at the end of episode 2, when our normal Lain pulls up, and then gets all weird with them, with the whole, everyone's connected, and then shoot yourself thing. Which is an entire thing in and of itself that also needs to be discussed. So, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So, episode 1 and 2, like, even before episode 1 starts, Other Lain exists because she has an established presence at Siberia. So to make that happen, we know that Other Lain wasn't, like, activated by the computers, the Navis. Wasn't activated by the ghost either, the first ghost occurrence that Lain sees. Though, honestly, the ghost thing could have been going on for a long time. By first ghost occurrence, I mean the first suicide that we saw at the beginning of the series. So, but, like, what's crazy to me is that Other Lain is attached to these things because we've seen Other Lain doing these, like, techno-spiritual powers, right? The kind of ESP kind of stuff. I think it's ESP. I'll look it up for fun. ESP, is that, no, like, definition, come on. I'm not trying to, like, get Japanese guitar. Sixth sense, paranormal ability, pertaining to reception of information. Okay, so kind of ESP. I'm thinking, like, yeah, just all sorts of stuff. I mean, she was able to, like, I think, what's the term? Like, astral project, where she was watching that one guy shoot the kid like in the video game, like real world mix-up thing. While not being there, because she had like the aura, she was able to talk to the dude at Siberia when she wasn't there. And then we saw a complete different set of powers when she was, the laser pointer guys were outside her house, like looking in, and she said, go away, and crunched his stuff. Which actually, I am going to run that back. Run that back. Where's it at? Right here. I'm actually just going to watch it. You're going to watch it too. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Wait, no. Okay, now, 3, 2, 1, go. Boom. Glass freaks out. Crunch. Also, what? I paused. Did you see this? This blue. It looks blue. Why has he got blue coming out of his eye? Is he a lizard? Or is that like the juice of the machine? It kind of looks like it's blue blood. These guys might not even be human, dude. I don't even know. But what's interesting about this scene is that her ESP, or like her telekinetic whatever ability here, seems to be like fueled by the computer, because her Navi starts tripping. It cuts to the Navi immediately after she uses it, and it seems to have exerted itself. So it's like, the more powerful her computer setup, she's like able to draw on that power to influence things in the real world. Which also kind of relates to what she was saying with her dad. About like, the dad's like, oh, the wired is just the transmission of information, and you mustn't confuse it with the real world. And Lain straight up says, nah, the boundary's not that clear. I don't remember the exact quote. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna put myself in. He said, you can't do that with your civilian Navi. She says, actually I can. I got a cyber chip. Or a psyche chip. So, other Lain wants to go to the techno world. And has recently gained the access to. Also consider that the chip she got, the psyche chip, came from the Knights, which is like a conceptual thing that only exists in the Wired, I'm pretty sure, based on what they were saying. In other words, the Knights do not physically exist, but rather are a thought itself that occurs within the Wired. I mean, there's the quote. So, I mean, there's just so many pieces, man. This was wild. Wait, this is getting me excited. Okay, I'll calm down. Let me take a sip of my Dr. Pepper, even so it's 3 a.m. Gotta keep yourself fueled. Okay. So, thought itself that occurs within the Wired is really interesting to me, because that could mean, like, a collection of thinkers, right? I'm thinking, like, I don't want to use the example of 4chan, but I guess I am going to use the example of 4chan. Like, it could be a group of people that, like, have collaborated online, and that collaboration is named the Knights. And that would make sense to me. Or it could be, like, a spiritual techno whatever thing that just exists, like, intrinsically within the Wired, not from people interacting with the Wired. I don't know. It could be either of those. The only clue that we got towards either, which this points towards the 4chan angle, like the group of people, is that the Knights were the ones that gave the psychic chip to Lain, if I'm remembering correct. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So that means they physically exist, or at least can pull strings on the physical world to the degree of getting an object to somebody else. Which, I mean, you could be just within the Wired and, like, I don't know, Uber Eats it to her, or just, like, Amazon Prime ship it to her. Though I don't remember exactly how she got it, but it was the Knights, and I don't think I'm going to try to find that, because that's just a lot of work for that one specific scene. Also, this beginning of, what episode is this? 4, where she says, I don't need parents, humans are all alone. Oh, and that was the next line? No, they're not connected to anyone at all? Who is this? This is... That completely contradicts the line in episode 2, the end of episode 2. This show's trippy. Because, like, the line in episode 2, right, was, no matter what you do, everyone's connected, and the guy shot himself. And this is saying, I don't need anyone. Your boy's an island. No one's connected to anyone. So it could be like that's the person talking here is normal Lain, and then the other Lain thinks that everyone's connected, or vice versa, honestly, because end of episode 2, we were with normal Lain up to the point of the gunshot thing. So maybe normal Lain tapped into the ESP that's shared between the two of them. And I'm using ESP in a general sense for her powers. I'm not good with that terminology, sorry. And so, like, because it's two conflicting ideas, and I think they're probably attached to the two conflicting sides of Lain. But which is which? Because we saw this one here, we don't know which Lain's saying it, because it's just Lain's voice playing over walking outside in the nighttime. The walking outside thing could mean that this is other Lain, because she has to do with the nightlife. Or it could be our Lain, because we don't know. And then the other one, where everyone is connected in episode 2, that is normal Lain up to the point of her saying the words. That was normal Lain interacting. But then she starts acting differently when she says everyone's connected, and then the guy, offs himself. So the question there is, did normal Lain shift into other Lain in the end of episode 2, or was that fully normal Lain? Because the answer to that question will tell us who's thinking what thoughts. Which side is thinking that everyone's connected, which side is thinking no one's connected. Because both of those are a big deal. It feels like to me that it's other Lain that thinks everyone's connected. Because she's like the one that's trying to get within the Wired. And the Wired, like, when she's like soaking into it, she's like hearing the things of everybody that's like talking through it, right? Sorry, there's like a gas bubble within me that's trying so hard to come out. I'm sorry, lots of talking. So it makes me think that normal Lain thinks that nobody's connected. And I think this maps onto her personality better. Because normal Lain has a kind of strained relationship with her family, where she's kind of doesn't really engage with them. Same with her friends, Homegirl Arisu. So it's like, I could see her more having that sentiment, whereas opposed to other Lain thinks that the border between the Wired and the normal world is kind of like merged, right? It's kind of unclear. Other Lain's also thinking that, I hope other Lain is saying that the border part, I might have said normally. Other Lain, right? And then that she's hearing all these things of all these people talking, and she's watching in as the game occurs between the kindergartner that's chasing the guy and then the guy that shoots the kindergartner because the game's merged. I mean, she's seeing all these people like interconnected. So I can't imagine that other Lain is thinking that people aren't connected. So we have two trains of thought then. I think I'm going to conclude with that. I think that's good. I think that's a good spot there. That other Lain thinks everyone's connected, normal Lain doesn't. What that means for this story is tough. I mean, because thematically, that could mean some stuff. Because it's two thematic ideas that are opposed to each other. I mean, they're straight opposites. But for the story, I don't even know what the story is. Is this just the story of other Lain going into the computer world? What even is other Lain in relation to normal Lain? I don't freaking know. Is it like an alter ego? I mean, it's existed before the start of the story, so I don't know. Was it put there by her dad? Is it the Knights being born within her or something? Because she had a crappy computer to start. I mean, before, because she got an upgrade to her computer, so the computer could be part of it. To the Navi, right? She started with a crappy Navi and then got an upgrade from her dad. Which the dad's an entire thing too. I mean, who's the dad? The dad wants this kind of stuff to happen, I'm thinking, because he's the one that gave the super upgrade, and he knows what's going on within Lain right now. So why is he watching? What does this serve him? Is he want Lain to be like the herald of like a new age of technology kind of thing? I mean, I could see that. But like all we've seen of him with the Wired is just him laughing at like funny cat videos. Homie isn't making sense. But he wants it to happen, I think. And then he says, let me give you a warning. It's a medium for communication, transfer of information. Do you understand what I'm warning you about? Like, don't merge it. And Lain says, I'm going in that hoe. Full range, full motion. Don't worry, I'm still me, she says, while acting completely different from normal Lain. I mean, are both Lains stemmed from the same Lain? Is it like two parts of the same person, or is it two people? When she says me, is she referring to Lain or other Lain, right? Is she referring to like base Lain, which includes both? Or is she referring to other Lain, which is separate from normal Lain? I mean, it's just it's vague. It's vague. And then the CIA. I haven't even talked about the CIA. It's crazy. I've been rambling for like 15 minutes, literally. I haven't even started the reaction. This is gonna be like an hour-long video. Because there's just so much to go through. I mean, this guy, freaking Red Eye CIA agents. I mean, even they could be the Knights and they're just trying to watch her. We don't... And then the computer says intruder, like... Got rid of the intruder or whatever. Intruder interrupted. So it's like... I mean, I don't know what the Wired's doing there. Is that the Wired speaking? Is that Lain speaking through the Wired? Who freaking knows? The CIA could be like an agency that... Let me think. There's that burp I was talking about earlier. Sorry, that's just... It is what it is. That's what happens when I drink Dr. Pepper at 3 a.m. after eating an entire pot of mac and cheese. I don't know if you need to know that. Sorry. This happens when I ramble for too long. The CIA. So, a couple things about the CIA. If they're a government agency, which they probably are, they definitely got access to the best of the best computers. Which means that if computer strength is relative to like spiritual spiritual strength that Lain is exhibiting at the end of episode 4, then they can be they could potentially be a very big threat because they have access to such good like high-end technology. So I can see that being a thing. But they just kind of ran off after Lain exploded their head. They also might not even be people because it kind of bled blue, though that could have just been like inner workings of the gizmo. Wow. Is there anything else I should even talk about? I feel bad for normal Lain. Oh, I mean, there's the whole deal of the spirits going within the computer world, too. I think that's just, like, everything's connected, right? So, the spiritual world and the techno world are kind of one and the same. Or at least people have the option of transferring their souls there. That could be it as well. Because that's kind of what Lain's talking about. I would say that actually maps one better. People can move their souls into the techno world, which seems to be kind of what's happening with the suicides. Right? They might have been provoked to suicide by even the Knights. I can just throw them in for fun of it. But they might have been provoked to suicide as a way to enter the Wired. And Lain, other Lain wants to do it without dying so she can maintain her body and have a better transmission. Okay, let's watch the episode. Let's watch episode 5. How is that for some beginning monologue? Okay, he's kind of doing some work. Also, this is a different... the website I'm normally using doesn't have episode 5. Which means I'm on a different website, so the subtitles might be different than the normal one. But hey, we'll figure it out. We're all in it together, baby. 3, 2, 1. Bang! Oh, are there no... There better be subs. Oh, there we go. English subs. Had to turn them on. What's up, Lain? This is 5, right? I'm just gonna trust it's 5. It's 5. It's gotta be 5. I'm gonna check. It's episode 5. Yep. Looks like episode 5. Okay. Sorry. Alright. There's also something I want to point out about this OP that I thought about. I like this music quite a bit too. That's other Lain though, man. And she's in the computer world, so she makes the transmission. She's literally talking to them. She might also be a good guy. Because she seemed like sad when she watched the kid get shot. So she could actually be benevolent. And she just wants the worlds to merge effectively. Like a herald between the worlds, you know? But then how does normal Lain fit in? That's the big question I got, man. This is a good OP though. I like this OP quite a bit. We're about to get to the part that I wanted to talk about too. How's that for some dramatic tension? I haven't even brought it up till they bring it up. I'm waiting. I'm biding my time. Man, I love that shot of her with the green though. Okay, right here. Everything freezes. What slows down time? Accelerate. Whatever that drug is called. The weird microchip. I think this could be an example of her using Excel. Because everything like stops. So she might use that as like a boost at some point. Okay, new content. I gotta stop talking. I'm literally like running my throat. That was an odd phrase. The Wired? I think she's referring to the Wired here. Intro title? Yep. Layer 05. Is it like... I don't know, man. That's kind of... I didn't know that. Is that true? Cancer rate in people are low? Oh. Man's capped out their evolution, so they have to turn to the techno world to evolve in a new way. Is that kind of the idea here? The desires of the flesh. I mean, I don't quite agree with this sentiment, but you go off. Just, like, that's saying that evolution is the end point, right? Who's to say evolution is what matters? Whoa. Yeah, he's just talking about going to the spiritual world. That's Lain. Oh, shoot. Wait, this is crazy. The narration Lain can hear. I think this is normal Lain. You know what's crazy? I just got my wires crossed in my brain. I almost just referenced something from Steins Gate, which feels extremely similar. I just got like deja vu. This is the sister. Okay. The god of the wire just talked to Lain. I don't know who this guy is, but get out of here. Sister, you can do better. Yeah, good on him. Don't even talk. Get what you need and get out. Satisfy the desires of the flesh and dip. What are you thinking? She also is in an interesting spot because she's kind of seen Lain acting weird, so she might have some walking against the tide. Metaphor? Okay. Yeah, not my problem. What's up, Lain? Why are you looking so scary? Other Lain. Okay, so other Lain been with her from the start. This is young. This is like super young Lain, and that's acting like an other Lain. Yeah, that's other Lain speaking. It's like other Lain has the connection to the spirit/tech world, while normal Lain does, but not quite the same. Because like other Lain's like getting the good parts. Or I guess maybe she's talking to herself here. Whoa. I thought she was talking to his spirit. A prophet. Is Lain gonna be the prophet? Other Lain? Oh, I have to remember not to cut off the sides of the video too much, or else you won't be able to see the captions. That would be bad. Sorry, you gotta deal with black bars then. Actually, no, I can make it work. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't be talking about editing during the video. Sorry. Okay, who died? Was it like a traffic malfunction then? Or like a... I don't know. We'll run it back. Maybe that was like a sign to Lain that like the god is real. Maybe she asked for proof and that was the sign. Huh. Oh, okay. It's happening to everybody. It's not just random. I was gonna say, if that guy just delivered her something important, I would lose my mind. Oh, the sister's here. What's up? Go hang out with Lain. Go talk to her. What is it? You don't like it? Is this the little kid? I think it's a different kid. I don't recognize this kid. Unless, is this the kid from Siberia? It's gotta be. Buzz off, kid. Oh, you spilled on me. Backhand him. He runs off. Look at him go. What a dick. Yeah, this is your school outfit, too. Prophecy. They were just talking about prophecies. The other side is overcrowded. The dead will have no place to go. Okay, that is terrifying to hear. Other side is overcrowded. Maybe actual heaven is full, so they're leaking into the techno world. And Lain is able to see that because she has that connection. I don't know, man. Oh, Lain's in the street, isn't she? Go get your sister. What is she doing? Help her. Dude, what's wrong with you? What do you mean? Your sister's in the intersection. Go grab her. Lain's like getting control of the traffic system and like manipulating it around her, dude. Lain. That's scary. Huh? Okay. We're back here. What is that? What am I looking at? Okay. What? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, please don't hit me with time travel. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. You, Lain, you will connect us. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Yeah, we keep cutting to this traffic part. She's like, she's doing something big right now. The sister just doesn't care that her sister's in traffic, so I hate her. Stupid. Go grab your sister. Go grab Lain. Like, what are you doing? That's not a what's her problem. Risu? Oh, Risu. Imagine if these three are dead. That'd be a good twist. If these three are dead the entire time and we're spirits that were like helping Lain. Okay, so she doesn't know that she did the TV thing. The traffic thing, right? Why is she so scary? I don't understand why she's doing that. Is she like implanting herself into the system like better or something? She's like, what? Excuse me? Oh, it's just the total of the McDonald's order. Okay. These characters can't be dead though. That'd be a bit much because they're literally talking to each other without Lain around. For that to really map on, I think Lain would have to not be here. Or Lain would always have to be with them. She has a little cute phone thing at the bottom there. The Knights. Super hacker. Yeah, literally 4chan. That's what I was saying, dude. Literally 4chan. And they're a secret society. Lane's dad is probably part of that then. Lane's dad is like definitely part of that. Which is, and he's probably partially in it. Or like has influenced Lane's development for Lain to become what she is because of the Knights. Or like because of whatever the Knights want. You know, like Lane's like the prophet that he's like given birth to, like literally and maybe like metaphorically as well. Alright, who are you talking to this time? Okay, an actual spirit. She's like hanging. We're getting metaphysical. Oh, that's the mom. My bad, mom. So is our world just a... Is our world the shadow? Right? And we only see the shadow of what true existence is. We're doing a little Plato's cave thing or whatever. But we're the shadow. That's kind of sick. I kind of just changed the message a little bit, but I think that's kind of what they mean. That Wired's this metaphysical layer above us that we're like beginning to tap into. I mean, that was like a different mom speaking. But that's other Lain. What is... I just want normal Lain to be okay. I care about normal Lain, but these characters, like... I don't know, man. The thematic and like conceptual elements is what this show is really focusing on. Rather than the characters. Which is interesting. I usually watch like character-driven things, so this is really interesting. Steve Jobs Lain. Is that an outfit that one Lain wears and the other doesn't? Okay, talk about it. No, this is normal Lain. No, it's not nothing. You press that. Stop chowing on your rice. I'm trying to pay attention. Oh, that's cool with the reflection of the liquid, like the side of the glass. Wow, they really like this traffic sign. Oh, is she back there? Now she's in the middle. Okay, this is getting really weird. Is she about to get hit by a car? Or, oh man, I don't know. That's an entire, like, a clock? The microwave? Okay. Did she just have an other sister moment where she literally just went through what Lain goes through on a daily basis? Is that a Risuin squad? I really need to know the sister's name. I forgot it. It almost feels like she just had a similar experience that Lain has. Where she like amnesic episode, which I'm assuming that Lain has those. Nice job just spilling your coffee immediately. What are you doing? Grounding yourself by... She's getting the message. She's getting the message. I gotta run back to the prophecy that was given to her. I gotta read that again. No, that was about the dead overflowing. Oh, please don't scare me. Okay, so I think the Wired is like a metaphysical layer above this reality, the real world, that these characters are like beginning to tap into, for better or for worse. Oh geez, oh geez. Okay, she just went to the bathroom. Understandable. And since it's like metaphysical, it's like a layer above or whatever, the spirits have access to it because, you know, the spirits go to the metaphysical thing. Oh no, what is happening to the sister? We're about to get jump scared so hard. We're about to get jump scared so hard. Stop, stop. I hate horror. I actually love horror. I'm just really easily frightened. No, okay. Man up, tying up. Let's go. It's gonna be a spirit. It's gonna be one of those creepy looking spirits that they do the face all different. We already know what it is. There's nothing to be afraid of. No fear of the unknown here, baby. Her pupils are completely dilated because it's that dark. What is that, a toilet? As soon as she relaxes, she's getting jumped. No? Or right now. There it is. And blood along the entire door. That's some like Akamanto stuff. I think it's Akamanto. Huh? Cut to the dad. You're gonna cut to the dad after that? Okay, Knight's captain. Captain of the... Oh. This isn't necessarily the dad. Yeah. Maybe? Kind of getting the idea that we tapped into an already existing world. Here in the real world, God exists only as a concept. Well, why would the world that we made through the wired have a God while we assume ours doesn't? Okay, yeah, it's not necessarily called God. That makes me feel better about that. You talked with something that claimed to be God. Oh, so this probably isn't back in time, huh? These conversations? Wow, that sentence was so long I didn't even read it before it went away. That's crazy to me. Oh, good, she made it out alive. This is such an odd show. Could you imagine watching this and being like, oh, I'm so excited for tonight's episode of Serial Experiments Lain. Like, oh my goodness. This kind of stuff just doesn't get, like, made very often anymore, I feel like. Maybe it does and I just don't look for it enough. Is it the mom or is that her? Huh? That's a huge deal. Is one of them the real them and the other one's the other them? Whoa. Lain, what do you need? Other sister just pulled up, dude. But they just inhabited two bodies, which means so much. Okay. That looks like the sister. Okay. They're ending the episode, aren't they? No! Okay. Is she about to stumble into other her? Is she gonna see the other her? That would be crazy. If Lain sees the same thing the sister just did. Wow, her setup is actually like techno horror levels. It's getting insane. She's literally just gonna bundle herself into a system and then, you know, cover up the door and just live in there. Who is it today? I'm gonna just take 5 real quick. I just gotta take 5 real quick. This music's different, right? I don't remember selling my soul so cheaply. What are we talking about? Until I die and say farewell, no one can touch me. You probably don't know. The eternal outlaw is prying in the distant night. And okay, end of it. Wow. Okay. They lost me. They lost me on this one. What was the prophecy? Okay, so this... Dude, what? Okay. Sit up. Sit up in the chair. We gotta figure this out real quick. Okay. Let's find... The other side is overcrowded. The dead will have no place to go. The other side. Overcrowded. Okay. I have found something. I have found something important. So what I'm confused about is that I think the freaking phantom dad, other dad, I don't know, the dad figure that Lain/other Lain was talking to was wrong. And I will explain why once I read his wording. Wait. Oh, it's possible that the deuce of the wired may already have enough power to affect the real world in some instances. Well, that's true. We've seen Lain do that. So either Lain is like the child of the wired that's inhibiting all this power, or is just getting some of the power that God is like bestowed upon her or whatever. Wait, what was the line he said that I disagree with? Oh, yeah. If we assume that it was a development of electricity and phones that brought about the formation of the wired, then I have to wonder if another world was created at that moment. That's what I disagree with. So the reason that I potentially disagree, and actually I don't think I disagree. I don't even know what I'm thinking. This is just what I wanted to say though, is if we're saying that from the earlier thing with the red note that sister got, that the other side is overcrowded and soon the dead will have no place to go. That's one thing, that, you know, the spirit world getting crowded. And then that the wired was created eventually. That means that the spirit world and the wired can't be the same thing. Like, totally. I mean, they could be connected, intertwined, but they're different. Because the dead had to go somewhere before the wired was created, right? I mean, people died before the electricity was made. And so just through that event happening, you have to think, like, the dead had to have gone somewhere. And now that the wired's made, it's not like it's a home for the dead. I think the dead are leaking into it potentially, or are purposefully going there, but I don't think it's the home of the dead. So I don't think the wired is the same as like the spiritual endpoint. Though when I'm saying words like spiritual endpoint, who even knows what I'm talking about? But in the wired, there may be like a godlike embodiment. I don't know if it should be called God, but it has the power to affect the real world potentially in the form of prophecy. So they also made some connections with the human brain being driven on electricity to like the wired being driven on electricity. So you could say like the wired is serving as like the equivalent of a human brain, except on a much larger scale, because it's also got every human interacting with it. I'm kind of here for that. Not really sure what it means though, and I'm so confused about what's happening with the sister. I mean, she like teleports in front of these spirits, so it's like while sitting at the table, she loses concentration. And like maybe her like self splits, right? Where like part of her is shunted to that location she was thought about, and then starts getting prophesized where like the god is talking to her or whatever about fulfilling a prophecy. The reason I bring that up though is that like she sees her real self, or at least the self that was having dinner. So the self that was shunted to like the street is different because real self is still existing. And I think it's the real self because that's the self in the house. She went home and saw herself. So like, and then when Lain pulls up, she sees like this manifestation that's dimly in the same shape of the sister. And then goes back to her room and says, "Who is it today?" Oh wait, maybe the computer said it and was asking if it's Lain or other Lain? Nope, it's Lain that said it. Oh, frick. That would have been more helpful. think I've made talk with God. Who, and then what was the lines you were saying with God, man? Man. And like these weird things that were talking to Lain, I guess they're spirits, but this one like looked like Darth Vader. Like, huh? I don't understand what I'm looking at. This looks like eyes, a mouth, a nose. This is the top of the, like, the eyebrows. This is like the cheeks. This is the chin. Then what's this? It's on the chair. It's like it's like a casing. It's like an obelisk. So, and this also gives the idea that there might be the two lanes going around, and they just haven't ever connected, crossed paths. Because, like, if the sister saw herself, who's to say that Lain can't see herself? Well, that doesn't quite make sense, because we know, like, current normal Lain has been switching into, like, other Lain, like, in the moment, right? I mean, other Lain is literally turning her Lain's room into this techno weird thing, right? So other Lain is aware of that all. It's not like there's this disconnect between the two. So I'm thinking they're inhabiting the same body. Especially because of how when Lain saw other sister was a spiritual blob. What is happening, dude? This show is so weird. It's literally like an entire, like, conceptual. He's talking to like a doll or whatever. Tell me a story. What kind of story would you like to hear? Something I haven't heard before. I can't tell you a story that doesn't exist. But why not? Why not? Why not? There is nothing that you don't know. What? Okay, so Lain's the god. The god of the Wired. Lain is the in development god of the Wired. She has to be. For every event, there's first a prophecy. And first comes into existence when there is a prophecy. And she asks, who makes the prophecies? And the doll doesn't answer, but the doll's answer, I think, is you. You make the prophecies, Lain. Especially because Lain... Okay. Especially because Lain was sitting in the traffic thing freaking out after the car crash. I think it was after the car crash that she was acting weird, right? Yeah, because the car crash was like immediate. Well, then why did God start talking to her? So Lain's not the god, because God talked to Lain. But I'm thinking that Lain is the god. Because Lain has interacted with the real world in, like, supernatural ways that are akin to what Phantom Dad said. She also got the same slip that the sister got. Acted weird in the street, which is where the sister teleported to. In, like, the exact same spot as Lain, I'm thinking. And showed up in the TV. Those are, like, 3 things that could be, like, said that are the prophecy. Like, it's a mask. It's a mask. Sorry, the weird Darth Vader thing is actually a mask you can see here. So I think Lain made a prophecy of her sister being, like, the weird events at the end with the sister. I think Lain made that prophecy. Oh yeah, and then he says the prophecy is being fulfilled, Lain. But then it's not a prophecy. This has got to be other Lain, right? Other Lain talking to spirits in a room while current Lain is acting weird. What is up with this mask, though? Dude, I don't freaking know. I don't know. And it's starting to stress me out. It's reasonable to see the Wired as an upper layer. I liked that a lot. That I was working with really well. The Wired is a higher dimension level of our own reality. I can work with that any day of the week. That makes sense to me. Especially if you start connecting the human brain to the electrical impulses of the Wired. And it's like, okay, well, it's a huge brain of, you know, a huge electrical giant brain. Who's to say the Wired doesn't have its own consciousness? The body exists only to verify one's own existence? You really... How philosophical are we really gonna get here? Okay, do we want to talk about verifying your own existence? Are you trying to say that the human body even can verify its own existence? You're trying to do I think therefore I am? You're really trying to Socrates me? Is that Socrates? Let me look that up. I think therefore I am. Descartes. Sorry, that's Descartes. You're really trying to Descartes me? Oh yeah, because it was like Descartes wanted to find the one thing that like a true thing to stem thought out of, right? Like one guaranteed principle. And the best he could come up with was, I think therefore I am. I personally don't think that's enough, and I think Descartes kind of came to that as well. I mean, there's some really good, what's the word? Arguments, counter-arguments against the phrase, I think therefore I am. You should probably look those up if you're interested. But that's an entire thing that I won't try to get into in this video because this isn't a philosophy. I mean, at this point, it pretty much is. I mean, they're the ones saying it. They're the ones that brought it up, so you deserve it. Body exists only to verify one's own existence. Well, are you saying only the body can do that? Does the body mean the brain? Or because she's looking at our hands. And like, just because I don't have hands aren't needed to verify your own existence. Because people without hands are just as reasonable as people with hands. They're just as existing, right? I mean, hands aren't the thing. So who's to say any part of the body is, except maybe the brain? The brain's like the only potential thing that could verify its own existence through being complex enough to... Well, brain... Yeah, brain. Because the brain is what's causing thought, which is the Descartes thing of I think therefore I am. So I wouldn't even say the body does, unless you mean the body as in the brain. Because like saying the brain's part of the body. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a weird spot. But even then, like, if you're saying, maybe it's the idea that like, so they're saying that the mind is capable of verifying its own existence. The mind is conscious, whatever, like all these things that are just to be human, like, you know, just examine your own mind when I'm saying this, and that's kind of like what they're saying. And then they're trying to map that principle onto the Wired, because I mean they did draw a parallel between the electrical impulses of the brain, right? That's because the body, the activity of the human brain. Oh, the body, the activity of the human brain. So when they say the body, they do mean the activity of the human brain. So they are saying I think therefore I am is merely a physical phenomenon created by synapses delivering electrical impulses. So the brain is made up of electrical impulses which exist to verify its own existence. Oh, and then Lain says, are you? So are you, what, capable of verifying your own existence? Because that's what I'm getting into, Lain. Me and Lain are on the same wavelength here. Because if you're saying that the mind, which is made of electrical impulses, is made to verify your own existence, then who's to say the Wired can't do the same? Because the Wired is made of electricity. And then we're saying that the Wired itself could have a consciousness. Could have, you know, could think. And then the dad says later that has become powerful enough as to affect the real world, whatever we're, you know, whatever that is, whatever that even means. In which case, like, we've already seen that in action with Lain. So maybe Lain is, but how does Lain fit into that, right? Like, because I mean, I guess Lain might just be a human being that is somehow connected to the Wired itself as a consciousness, because she spoke to it claiming to be God, which I think is just the consciousness of the Wired. You know. Oh, frick, man. This sister sucks, by the way. She watches her own freaking Lain in traffic and just buzzes off and then brings it up once at dinner and says forget about it when Lain acts confused. Lain's having a mental breakdown, and then she has this weird, like, ritualistic thing around her that looks kind of like a clock. But it's like a half moon, gates. And she does knock over the coffee cup. It says fulfill the prophecy, and then everybody disappears. So this is her, like, clipping into the spiritual techno world, potentially. Where God, which is the consciousness of the Wired, I'm presuming, is telling her to fulfill the prophecy. The prophecy being what Lain laid out at the beginning of the episode. I'm thinking. The dad's watching it too. Oh, no, I made the same mistake twice. This is the Phantom dad. Another world was created. I think world he's using as a way to say person, kind of. Like saying, I mean, I don't know. In the wired. So like maybe we can say the wired is the body, physical body. So I'm including arms, I'm including hands, I'm including all that. And there is a brain within the wired that is the god. So the god is the brain of the wired and the rest of the wired is just its body. I mean, if we're going along all these trains of thought, which I'm going down, then saying that the wired's consciousness or whatever is a god would be the same as saying, like, my consciousness is a god of my body. Which, I mean, maybe my consciousness is the god of my body. All right, is that kind of where we're going? I don't know. Or, like, your consciousness in your body. I'm assuming you got a consciousness. I'm not a, what is it, solipsist? Something like that? Solipsism? Solipsism? Whatever that is. That's the, you can Google it if you want. You're probably already going with your little fingers. The thing where it's like, you can only be sure of your own existence. That's like, but no one else's. Something like that. Deus, D-E-U-S. Let me look up D-E-U-S. Man, I'm gonna have to edit this so much. I try not to like, let's see, Deus meaning. God, okay, yep, God. That makes sense. We're happy with that. Wow, I just didn't say anything for like 5 seconds. My brain is working overtime trying to process this. And the sister straight up says, forget about it. With her seeing the spiritual thing. So it's like almost the other sister. I think real sisters, like sister got shunted out of her body, thrown into the prophecy, and other sister has taken over the body. And I think Lain, it's similar to what Lain's been going through, except Lain is flipping between the two so much more seamlessly. Like Lain's incorporation of the two bodies is much better. Or the two souls, whatever, is much better. Like her soul of the wired and her soul of the flesh. And there's the sister's soul of the flesh that got shunted out that Lain is able to see due to her connection to the wired. Who is it today? I don't freaking know what you even mean, Lain. Okay, that's like all for episode 5. Wow, I'm looking over at my little recording thing. It says an hour. This means it's gonna be like 55 minutes because I probably screwed around for like 2 minutes before I actually started. That's crazy to me. This was a good episode though. I mean, there's just so much to pour over, and it's really daunting. It's really daunting to try to get into, because there's just so much going on. I mean, I haven't even talked about Excel anymore. That was like such a minor thing that I feel like just, why did that get brought up? The God talking. I talked about the God quite a bit. What else? Lain going in the TV. Why is she doing that? Not sure. I feel like there was, oh yeah, and the beginning of each episode being the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just a motif and that actually doesn't mean much. And what was the name of this episode? Distortion. Layer 5. I think the layer thing is like the layers into the wired or the layers into the psychological or something, right? Like it's like each episode we're going deeper and deeper into the wired as this connection is being, this connection between the real world and the, or like these two worlds continue to collide and, you know, go deeper into each other. Though if the wired, I'm getting back into it again just by freaking talking. The metaphysical, right? Like it's less of a side-by-side merging and more of like an up-to-down merging if we say that the wired is a metaphysical thing above us. But who even knows? Let's honestly just go on to the next episode, episode 6 of Serial Experience Lain. That's like our future tonight. I hope you have a great, or if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, blah blah blah. Comment down below, all that stuff. Really appreciate it every time. But until then, until the next episode, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, dawn, evening, whatever is. I hope it's great, whatever you're doing. I hope you do great. But until then, until next episode, I'm out of here. Peace.